John Wick gets ready to correct retaliation against the High Table while concealing underground with the Bowery ruler. He goes to Morocco and kills the senior, the person who sits over the table. Accordingly, the Marquis Vincent de Graymont, a High Table part, calls New York mainland and supervisor Winston and his attendant, Sharon. The Marquis makes sense of that the High Table has given him limitless assets to kill John Wick. He reprimands Winston for neglecting to kill John. As discipline, the Marquis strips Winston of his administrative obligations, announces him excommunicado, obliterates the mainland, and executes Sharon. The Marquis then, at that point, enrolls Kane, a visually impaired, resigned High Table professional killer, to kill his close buddy, Jhon, taking steps to kill Kane's girl in any case. Jhon takes shelter at the Osaka mainland, shown to his companion Shimizu Koji. The Marquis' second-in-order Chitty, upheld by High Table professional killers and Kane, shows up to examine the lodging. Koji's girl Akira, the lodging's attendant, empties the inn not long before the High Table deconsecrates it, lighting a scuffle when Koji and his men come to John's guard. Jhon battles through rushes of defensively covered professional killers, prompting a standoff against Kane. Mr. No-One, an abundance tracker, interferes with their battle and works with John's break in the wake of deciding the abundance for killing Jhon to be lacking. An injured Koji over and over assaults Kane for John's benefit. Kane hesitantly kills Koji and saves Akira. Jhon gets back to New York and meets with a wrathful Winston at Karen's gravesite. Winston encourages Jhon to conjure an old High Table practice to move the Marquis to a duel. Winning would free Jhon, all things considered, to the High Table, yet he can demand a duel in the interest of a wrongdoing family. He goes to the Berlin base camp of the Ruska Roma criminal organization, with whom he had cut off ties, to demand readmission. His receptive sister Katia specifies that for readmission, Jhon should kill Killa Harkan, a High Table part who killed her dad. Jhon goes up against Killa at his club. Kane and Mr. No-One help Jhon against Killa's cohorts. When a battle breaks out, Jhon at last kills Killa and recovers his status. Winston transfers John's proper test to the Marquis. Going about as John's second, Winston demands that the New York mainland be modified, with him restored as administrator, should Jhon win. In Paris, Jhon and the Marquis settle on the duel's boundaries, dueling guns on the accompanying dawn at Sacré-Cœur in a gathering directed by the Harbinger, the table's messenger. The Marquis names a hesitant Kane to have his spot. Jhon and Winston will be executed ought to either neglect to show up on time. The Bowery Lord shows up in Paris to give Jhon a gun and another ballistic suit. The Marquis plans to keep Jhon from showing up at the duel in time by putting a $26 million abundance on him. Jhon fends off crowds of professional killers while heading to Sacré-Cœur, including Mr. No-One, who arranges an abundance increment to $40 million. During their showdown, Jhon keeps Chitty from killing Mr. No-One's K9, causing a dazed Mr. No-One to leave his quest for Jhon. After Kane and Mr. No-One help Jhon in warding off a few professional killers, including Chitty, who Mr. No-One kills on the Morn Foyetier, they arrive at the culmination with perfect timing for the duel. Jhon and Kane twisted each other through 2 rounds of dueling. The third round stops when Kane seriously wounds Jhon. Requesting the option to regulate the final blow, the Marquis anxiously trades places with Kane. Winston rebukes the Marquis for his haughtiness, uncovering that Jhon has not yet discharged his third projectile. Jhon shoots and dispenses with the Marquis. The Harbinger awards Kane and Jhon their independence from the High Table, and Winston is restored. Subsequent to imploding on the flight of stairs, Jhon reflects upon his life and marriage prior to surrendering to his wounds. In a little while, back in New York, Winston and the Bowery ruler bid goodbye to Jhon at his grave, situated close to that of his late spouse Helen. In a post-credits scene, King gets back to Paris to rejoin with his little girl yet is drawn closer by the wrathful Akira, who shakes a blade.